Oh my god, ladies and gentlemen, we are on the verge of a brand new Overwatch because look at this quote. This is Jeff Goodman on the official forums, and he posted this on the 11th of the 11th, and this is what he says. That said, to my surprise, basically everything worked out even better than I had hoped. At this point, it looks like most or all of the changes are going to make it to live after all. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Stylosa and this is Unit Lost, and we are about to go into a new age of Overwatch, because if all, as Jeff says, or maybe 99% or 90% or whatever of the PTR updates, changes, hit live, we are going to be looking at a drastically different game. Now, I think this is awesome because I have been having loads of fun playing on the PTR because of one thing. And this is because it takes 25% longer for everybody to generate an ultimate. Like, just a flat 25% increase. So what this means is you don't have Overwatch of like the game of ultimates where everybody's just spamming ultimates, and like you kind of, it doesn't matter if you use an ultimate and it doesn't work. We'll have one back in like the next 5 seconds because I'm McCree and I'm just going to get a couple of headshots. Oh, it's high noon again. Oh, it's high noon, and all that stuff. Or you get the dreaded Beyblade where Anna just ultimates, she nano boosts Reaper and Reaper goes in, Death Blossoms and kills the entire team because they can't stop it because whatever, that's Beyblade. But that's not even going to be a thing anymore because it's going to take longer to charge your ultimate. Anna's ultimate has been nerfed. It no longer has a speed component to it, so you don't move faster when you've got it. So you're not going to be able to just throw yourself into the team and destroy them. So a team is going to have more of a chance to sort of deflect that kind of ultimate. It's just awesome. But the ultimate change itself means there's more emphasis on you just playing your hero and just having fun with your hero. Like, you don't have to think, oh god, I'm just charging my ultimate up now and I'm going to just, like, I'm Genji, I'm not really doing anything. Oh, here's my ultimate. Oh yeah, and that's all I'm really doing is just trying to charge my ulti. Like, I'm slapping my chair, I'm getting so animated because this is great. Instead, like, more emphasis is put on you just playing your hero, just trying to do damage, trying to get kills, because you will get an ultimate, but it's 25% slower. So that means at the end of a game, you're not going to maybe have 4 or 5 ultimates, you might only have 3, which is actually quite big. Like, really, really big. I mean, ultimates are still going to change Overwatch. They're still going to be the things which win the game. You know, sexy graviton combos or whatever, they're still going to win the game because that's what ultimates are there for. They break deadlock, and when used correctly, they can just wipe out the enemy team, and that's what they're there for. But they need to be high pressure things. Like, for a Zarya to use her ultimate, it needs to be like, right, I'm going to use this and I need to make it land. They can't just fire it off and think, well, I'll have another one in 2 minutes, so what the hell. If I miss, it's cool, we can just do it again. Now it's going to be even longer, so that is it's an absolutely ridiculous change. The next big thing we've got is Soldier 76. Now, this guy, he's like one of my favourite characters, and I think he was like the first character that I played in any kind of way, and I really enjoyed Soldier. But then he sort of fell away because he had a load of changes. McCree became basically a better Soldier, which was kind of sad because everyone liked Soldier, and I like Soldier, he's a good guy. But now, Soldier is an animal. Like, Soldier is an absolute animal. I believe, if my numbers are correct, Soldier, on live right now, he would do 17 damage per bullet. Now he does 20 damage per bullet, and he has less spread. So what that means is, when Soldier's firing his weapon, which is, you know, an automatic rifle, it's actually a lot of extra damage. This has turned Soldier into this, like, monster. Like, he is a monster. I mean, the first time I played him on PTR, after playing him on live and then going to PTR, I was like, this can't stay. This is crazy, because Soldier's just doing loads and loads of damage. But what this means is, Soldier is now very, very good at killing the likes of, well, every other offensive hero, unless if McCree flashbangs him and, you know, headshots Soldier, or Reaper gets the jump on you, or, you know, Tracer, I don't know, he's jumping all over the place and kills you, or like Genji comes in and deflects a Helix rocket into you. If none of that happens, Soldier just has an advantage straight up because he can do loads of damage, he can just spray at them, and he can stand in his biotic field. This makes him really, really powerful, and I think we're going to see a lot of Soldier McCree combos coming up whenever this patch hits live, because Soldier and McCree have got like all the tools that you need. They've got the long range damage, they've got the sustained damage, they've got the flanker control so they can shut down Tracers or Genjis, and they're just like crazy. They've got really good ultimates. Like, Soldier's ultimate is a really, really good ultimate. Like, a lot of the time people will be like, oh yeah, no, it's just auto aim bot, blah blah blah, crappy Soldier. But it's not. It's really, really good because it lets you just clean up. Like, that's what Soldier's there for. You flank from the side, pop your ulti, clean up. You just wipe all the supports out instantly, pretty much, with your ultimate. It's just crazy powerful. It's so good. So I love the fact that Soldier should become relevant, because they did change him. I think a couple of weeks, no, a couple of months ago. I'm sure it was around Eichenwald or Eichenwald, or however you pronounce it. I'm very sorry, ladies and gentlemen, if you're German and you're like, oh my god, Stai's saying Eichenwald again, or Eichenwald, or whatever. Whenever they released that, though, I think they changed Soldier and made him slightly a little bit better. I don't know whether that made it to live or what. My memory's a bit hazy. But the fact is, he is a beast right now, and he goes on to live, I will be playing Soldier. I can pretty much tell you that right now. Other things we've got is like Mei. Now, Mei has been nerfed, and rightfully so, because Mei, she generates her ultimate way too fast on live right now. But remember, she's going to have a 25% reduced ultimate charge anyway. But if everybody gets that, it means that Mei would still get her ultimate too quick. So they've actually reduced Mei's again. So Mei has more of a delay on her ultimate generation. So you shouldn't really be seeing loads and loads of blizzards chucked everywhere, just killing you, because Mei's ultimate is probably one of the best ones in the game. She throws that onto a payload, you've got to move off the payload or you're just going to die. She throws that onto the final point on Temple of Anubis, you're dead. So it's really, really powerful. So having less of those per game will make the game better. And it goes back to what I was saying with the ultimate reduction of 25% across the board. It means that more focus will be put on just playing the game now, instead of messing about, just getting your ultimate and then trying to pop your ultimates. It's almost like every single stalemate or checkpoint that you needed to go through, you just blast through it with ultimates. At least that's what it was feeling like to me. Less of this sort of individual just playing your character, playing your hero to the best of your ability, instead of just waiting for your ultimate and then basically pressing Q and winning the game. I guess if you watch any of like the high level pro stuff, you sort of see that in that all the time. So you'll just see them waiting for a Graviton and, I don't know, a Tracer Pulse Bomb combo, or they'll be waiting for a nano boosted Genji with his Dragon Blade, or they'll be doing like the Beyblade Reaper, so the nano boosted Reaper into Death Blossom, and they just wait for that, and it's kind of boring. Like, we want to see more of the individual play, don't we? And we want to do that, like when we play the game. This is why PTR feels amazing. This is why I'm making this video, because I know a lot of you guys don't get a chance to play on PTR, but it is like a different game. It's a much more paced game. It feels way better. And then you've got other things like Pharah. Now, this is a... I still can't work this out in my head. So Pharah has been buff nerfed? I don't know. I think it's a buff. I think overall it is a buff to Pharah. So she can activate her jump pack pretty much instantly now. So when she's hovering, you know, if you press spacebar or jump or whatever you've got on the controller for the consoles, it pretty much jumps up straight away now, so it feels really responsive. Like before there was a bit of delay, you know, maybe it was more realistic, but now it's like instant and it feels really good. So she feels really smooth to play. She doesn't have a knockback on her rocket, but her rockets do more damage at the extreme range of the explosion. So if you get caught by a rocket, just sort of clipped by it when it explodes, you'll take more damage now, whereas before you wouldn't take as much damage. But the thing I was worried about with Pharah, and this is why I thought it was a bit of a nerf for a fairly long time, is when she fires a rocket into you, it would knock you about. So if you were playing Soldier and you were firing at Pharah in the sky, and she hits you with a rocket, she's going to knock you about, which messes up your aim, so you can't fire back at her that good, and she'll hit you again with another rocket. And I guess like amazing Pharah players would get used to where the knockback was going and fire the other rocket already there to hit you in the face and kill you. But now it just hits you and you don't move, so you can keep firing back at the Pharah. But like you theoretically take more damage from it anyway, especially if it doesn't hit you head on. So I don't know. I think it probably is a buff, but that's a big change. That would mean that I would play Pharah now, because before I never really liked how sluggish she felt. She did really feel sluggish. Now she feels really good. And Jeff Kaplan even, the games director, he was saying like Pharah feels really smooth now, and that's what they were looking to do, sort of make her feel better. And she really does. Like, she honestly feels way, way better. So if we look at the other heroes that we've got, the other types of changes that we're looking at, it's sort of like, I don't want to say they're insignificant, because there's not. There's probably ones that I forgot, because there's so many to just talk about, because it's a massive pack. In fact, we should talk about Torbjorn. I should totally talk about Torb, because Torb is a monster. I can see Torb being played for one reason, right? Sombra. Or even just use of like flankers in general. I mean, his turret is pretty good anyway against Genji and Tracer. But now what Torb does is he generates scrap passively. So in the spawn, you can give... I think you can give 2 armor packs out. So you can give yourself one, and then you can give, or maybe give like one to the Genji or one to the Tracer, or maybe you give them one both each. I think you can give them one in the spawn and then maybe one right after. But the fact is, you can give somebody armor in the spawn. I mean, that's crazy. That's really good. If Genji jumps out the spawn with an extra 75 armor, I believe, that's like... What? That is really powerful. Off he goes, and he's going to start doing damage. Same for Tracer. Even if you just put it onto your supports or anybody, it's really, really powerful. What this means is Torb doesn't have to rely on running out to collect scrap. He can just... well, he just generates it so he can give you armor, and it's really, really good. Like, I know I'm getting excited in this video, guys, but I feel like Overwatch is finally going into like almost like the golden age of Overwatch is going to begin, because a lot of these changes are really good. And we're not even spoken about the Symmetra change, which we don't even know what that's going to be. All we know is that she's pretty much being completely redesigned because she's boring to play. Now, I know there's probably people out there who play Symmetra and really like Symmetra, the way that she works, the way that she's, you know, drops the turret stands or whatever. But the fact is, Symmetra is just all about the teleporter. Once she's put that down, her job's kind of done. So they're going to change it. I mean, what they do to her, I don't know. It's going to be crazy. And of course, Sombra as well. When she hits the game, Sombra is a fascinating character to play. She's really fun to play. If you watch one of my recent videos, I kind of was like and ahhing as to how effective she would be. But I think that's me just being silly. I mean, to be honest, I think she's going to be pretty good. And she's just super fun to play. It's crazy. My God. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think about this in the comments below. We are about to go into a new Overwatch with much slower ultimate generation, much more focus on you playing your heroes. There's been several buffs across the board. I mean, Zarya, she got nerfed, and I don't... like. This would be the only one I want to see reversed, right? Or at least toned down a little bit. So Zarya doesn't charge as much now with her bubbles, which makes it kind of feel a bit weak. But Zarya, I think at the moment, on live, is a little bit too strong, so maybe they need to drop that down a little bit. I don't know. But yeah, beyond that, the Mei nerf is great. The Ana nerf was needed because her ultimate was just too good. Lucio's also been nerfed as well, which is kind of sad. Like, he doesn't heal as much now, I think. Maybe they changed his speed as well, but he's been reduced down again. But, you know, we're going to have to see how this all plays out. But the best thing for me is Soldier 76 is a goddamn monster. And if that doesn't hit live, I mean, hopefully, like Jeff said, all of this will go live. And if it does, Overwatch is going to be a hell of a game to play, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, let me know what you think about this in the comments below. I have been Salosa. This is Unit Lost. And remember, guys, keep having fun playing Overwatch. It's a beautiful game. And I'll catch you next time. Toodaloo.